Let's talk about two common mistakes that I see athletes make when they're doing cleans or pulls from the floor or even from blocks like I have right here. And both mistakes come from creating unwanted slack in my body as I go to try to drive the ball off the ground. Now, slack is my absolute enemy when I'm trying to do any kind of a clean or a pull. Slack, all right, when I pull against the bar, it's going to cause me to come loose. It's going to cause me to lose my core, my back integrity. It's going to cause me to round my back, right? All things that I'm trying to avoid. So let's get right into it. The first one, all right, is a pretty simple one with a pretty simple fix. All right, so a lot of times I'll see guys address the bar, right, and not turn their knuckles down, all right? So they'll grab the bar, kind of like this right here, my palms facing towards the ground. Now when I go to pull off the blocks, right, you can see the slack that is created with my wrist holding the bar like that. And for the fix for this is pretty simple. I use a simple cue, just knuckles down. And knuckles down, right, tells an athlete, right, that I need to curl my wrist up, curl my wrist, and turn my knuckles down towards the floor. All right, so instead of creating that slack, I turn my knuckles down, and then when I go to pull off the ground, right, I'm nice and tight, and I don't have that slack in the wrist. The second common mistake that I see athletes make as it pertains to creating unwanted slack is doing what I call trying to yank the bar off the ground, okay? So a lot of times this happens, especially as I get a little bit heavier. I get to, let's say, 90+%, and then instead of just sticking with my technique, I'm gonna really try to overcompensate, and I'm gonna crank down, and I'm gonna try to yank that bar off the ground, okay? Now obviously when I bend my elbows or drop my shoulders like that, I'm creating a ton of slack, right? And then when I actually pull against the bar, it's gonna cause me to come loose, it's gonna cause me to round my back, it's not gonna help my lift, and potentially could even lead to an injury. Now sometimes it's not that egregious to where I'm really cranking down and really pulling against. Sometimes it's a lot more subtle, and usually in this case, it's just a bad habit that the athlete has developed over time, right? And it's gonna be just really small, it's gonna be a slight little bend before they pull into it, right? But you're still gonna be able to notice it. It's still gonna give them some of the same issues and same troubles, especially as they get heavier up into weight. So the way that we teach our guys to pull off the ground, right, is I'm gonna address the bar, I'm gonna turn my knuckles down, and I wanna pull tight against that bar, right? Almost like I'm playing tug of war against someone. I wanna pull tight and get myself ready to go, okay? I'm gonna pull all that slack out of the bar, pull tight against it, then I'm just trying to drive my feet through the ground, okay? Now, the other thing that we'll preach a lot as well is the bar doesn't need to be 1,000 miles an hour straight from the floor, okay? I can be a little bit more controlled, and then as the bar crosses the knees, then I can really start to slam on the gas. And that's all I got. Hope those two little tips helped you out a little bit with your technique. And if you've got any common mistakes, maybe a common mistake that you're making right now, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video with some more common power clean mistakes.